Sup, guys? I'm Polly, and this is totally not a film commentary about Willy's Wonderland, which came out this year, 2021. It's an hour and 29 minutes and is classified as an action horror film. On IMDb, it has a 5.5 out of 10, and it made 418,000, I think, $286 at the box office. 86? Yep, 286. Um, and the budget was 5 million. So I'm not gonna go too far into what box office and budget and finishing in the red has to do with the film, but usually that sort of money spending and not equaling out to a lot at the box office has an interesting effect on the types of movies it creates. I think this became a cult film. Also, Nicolas Cage is in it, and he he got a paycheck without saying a word. So it's pretty impressive for Nicolas Cage. Um, Also, I think something I have in my pre-show notes is I can't stand YouTubers in movies, and that's one of the things. Warning. Oh, also it's not rated, which is interesting. I will say I think part of why it didn't do so well at the box office is because it came out in 2021 at the beginning of the year, and like with streaming and movie theaters still not being a thing, it probably had some effect on it. But also questionably if it's a good movie or not. Definitely something you could just throw on for whatever reason. Um, what else did I write? Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage's car in this is pretty legit. And obviously it's like a direct rip of Five Nights at Freddy's, but if the main character actually wanted to do something about the haunted animatronics. So there's that. But yeah, ironically, it has a very similar release date to the film I was going to record, but everything just kind of messed up, so I kind of raged and decided, you know what, I'm not going to try and record this right now, and that was My Bloody Valentine, the original one, so I'm probably going to do that one after this one, and I think I have another slasher. So, yeah, this is what we're going to be watching. Unless Hulu does the same thing it did to me earlier, and decides to just drop it. I did not get the film queued up, so I'm gonna have to do that momentarily. Excuse me. Hopefully it doesn't play an ad. It says 29 minutes, but for some reason, the very beginning for me is saying 28 minutes and some change, like 30 seconds or so. So, yeah. This is just a fun little film. I did write it down in my list before I saw it, and then one night I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it, and I was surprised at how well Nicolas Cage did. I watched it because of Nicolas Cage. Um, could not care for any other actor or actress in this film. At all. You know? Personal opinion. So, this is probably going to be an hour. I will let you know right now. This is probably going to be an hour and 29 minutes of me ripping this film to shreds. But when is it not? So, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. I don't even want to do during show notes, but we will. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and give the countdown. I will try my best to do shout outs for the time so you can stay in sync with it and all of that good stuff. So, okay. 3, 2, 1, play. It doesn't take away from it being an interesting film. I mean, I think this makes for a better movie plot than it does video game plot. So I think that's interesting. But yeah. I should have gotten the granola bar before this. I'm pretty surprised that it's actually not rated, but I think that's actually something you have to pay for, and it seems like they were already paying a lot. I will say it's meant to be very overdramatic. Also, I think something that is worth stating, and something I think like modern movies are just afraid of doing, you don't have to make the camera so shaky. Like at some point, like your eyes just are not seeing what's going on if it's too shaky. And for some reason sometimes shock can be achieved without shaking the mess out of the camera. Just saying. Like for instance, if them running down, oh yeah, here's the car. If them running down that hallway was done with like a static angle, and like the camera was actually angled at like a 45-degree angle or something, I feel like the same type of shock could be achieved, and it might actually be more terrifying. But they're going for a specific idea of over exaggeration in this film. It is actually very apparent. I think you can even go out of your way to say that part of the dynamic of this film, like part of the genre, is actually supposed to be dark comedy. A little bit of that is achieved. But yeah, I believe that's the 2022 Camaro SS. If you have a car like that and it isn't on like run flats, what are you doing with your life? Never get a flat in something like that. Be prepared to run from the cops in something like that. Something I did not pay attention to the first time. Those spike strips are purposefully placed. Punch. This is how I feel about Pepsi. Specifically cherry Pepsi. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Nick Cage. Yeah, I don't believe it was the kids doing that. That's not believable at all. This has wrong turn vibes. Pickup trucks in general, or like mechanics and stuff like that. Docks. Those are Oxblood Doc Martens. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but there's always a point, like not even just in movies, but also in shows, when they get to a point where, like, obviously if they were to allow a character to do something, it would have been the easiest resolve, and therefore you wouldn't have a film or movie. And I forgot, what was I watching? Not last night, but the night before. There was something, I forgot what I was watching, but same idea. If they would have let her burn down that building, there would not be a film. She would have solved all of their problems. But no, they couldn't let her do it. And it's like, what is the point? And also, the more I think about it, considering, yeah, like I said, I have seen this before. Why didn't they just burn that building down? And why would they be stopping her from doing so? Because they feel like this place has a hold on them to that extent. You wouldn't just burn the place down? I would. She should have let her just burn it down. I don't know if you could consider a quick resolution to be a plot hole, but I feel like you could. Why would he be checking in the engine if the problem is tires? Then why are you checking? Why are you checking the engine? He said all the ATMs just don't work. Why would you have multiple ATMs if... I'm pretty sure Nicolas Cage's character is seeing right through this. To an extent, it seems like he came here with this purpose in mind. As long as he's got his punch. Yeah, it doesn't look like you've made any attempt to reopen. You couldn't even paint the outside? Oh, you're rushing him to die. Never trust a dude that looks like Boss Hog. And when I say that, I mean Texas tie, white jacket, white hat. Like there's cobwebs on stuff. How is it supposed to be believable that you're getting ready to reopen if there's cobwebs on things? Ball pits are filled with germs. Just dump bleach in the whole thing. There's a billion reasons why they should have just let this place burn to the ground. There are no, like, lessons or morals in this movie. It's just a real fun watch. I do want one of those t-shirts. That was the fakest smile I've ever seen. Dude, his name is even Tex. He this sounds like that beginning intro when you're settling into your first night at Five Nights at Freddy's. I will preface, I have not played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I have been around its existence enough to know what is going on in that game. If you want to even call it that. But okay. It's the Teenage Goonies. JK. It's just a bunch of YouTubers. These are all like extras of extras of extras of Riverdale. Wow, what was that comment about? There's a reason why bobby pins are good for picking locks, but I think you would have to take off like the the rubberized end of it first so that it's completely flat. Gosh. All five of those people are some of the most cringe individuals I have ever seen. What are you doing? Wow, that room in that RV is not gonna be hurt by you flipping it off. He should have dusted off that jukebox before trying to clean it. Probably would have made it a lot easier. But who am I to argue with how Nicolas Cage cleans things? Speak of, I have to air dust my PC. Note to self: clean some things. Do some cleaning. Not gonna lie, I clean like Nick Cage does. Just throw it all away. Trash, trash. That's a cool little camera angle. If you don't know by now, I am a sucker for the cinematography. And yes, I don't think we've watched anything yet that really like showcases how much I genuinely like cinematography and like the act of storytelling through camera angles, but it is something that I tend to like looking at in movies that don't really pay that much attention to it. Okay, backstory: he's spraying degreaser that was foaming up like that. I used to work in a deli. Degreaser is no joke, and it leaves third degree, not third degree burns, but you get chemical burns if you leave it on your skin. So like anytime I see something like degreaser, like I just kind of tense up inside. Because I had like burns on my arms while I worked in the deli. It was horribly painful. Gosh, I want a Diet Pepsi so bad. I have to watch my caffeine intake though. But I can drink coffee again, which is great, just between certain times. Willy's. I wonder how much it would be to get a Willy's shirt. It looks comfortable. Like I like that type of fabric on shirts. Oh yeah, the other portion. Turns out his character is a fan of pinball, which like who isn't? Who isn't a fan of pinball? See, now we are established in the film. Sorta, kinda. We're at least established on Nicolas Cage's end. We know what's going on. We know everything he's doing. We're not fully established with the 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 third rate dweebs of a a different form of Riverdale. Oh boy, it's ostrich time. I'm sorry if you keep hearing me readjust my headset. It's just something. I have ears under it and they get uncomfortable. I will say also, to an extent, the CGI and the effects of this movie are pretty good. I will totally point out when the CGI starts getting on my nerves, cuz it's a very specific character. Also, I feel like this is how an ostrich would fight you in real life. Totally. Oh snap. They aren't paying Nick Cage to get injured. And to think, you're probably an animatronic that is just standing there. Watch this happen. That's gruesome. I like how it's literally just like oil and mechanical parts, but it still just seems like gory. It seems gory to me still. Another shirt. I just realized that those are brogue shoes. I don't know exactly what brogue means, but I know what it looks like on the Doc Martin site. I know he's using duct tape, but I have a feeling, just one hunch, that there are potentially band-aids and a first aid kit in that building. But okay, let's just put some duct tape on our open wounds. Because that's what you do in a situation like this. More punch. I guess he's taking one of his breaks. He's getting to the pinball game. At least in a way, this is his way of becoming familiar with the characters, technically. It's weird trying to talk about this without like saying I know anything. Like it's a new movie, I wouldn't want to like spoil anything, outright. It's not like when I was watching like I feel like if a movie has been out for a certain amount of time, it's way better to just talk about it as if everyone has seen it. Can't really do that with this film because of how new it is comparatively to things I've been watching. It's not like it came out this month. It's clean. Talk about a stare down. Did one of them like get off the pedestal just to go turn the power on? I guess so. The same one that wrote that. A plunger. See why I say this is this film seems very dark comedy esque. This is an easy payday for Nicolas Cage. More duct tape. At this point. Jeez. I feel it's dangerous to put duct tape around your midsection like that. How many more are there? That's the only one that matters, though. It's the ringleader. He's like a ferret or a weasel or something. Break time. Dang, he gets more breaks than anyone that's working like a regular job. He has as many breaks as he does punches. They're punch breaks. He's literally taking the time. And he doesn't know how. He's using sandpaper. There's so much wrong with that scene right now. He was filing the tops of his nails. Breaks over. 2 punches in the can. Technically speaking, it's the third one he's drank. Oh boy. Here they go. Oh gosh. They did not have to go inside. I'm pretty sure they have more than enough gasoline too. I feel like you could have. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There you go. she is giving us a reminder that yes, all of these people are in the same movie currently, and you weren't momentarily just seeing a scene from some other cringe piece of work. That, gosh, I can't stand any of these people. But I like the movie. It sucks because I do like bad films. Admittingly. But, I don't know. That's a question I'm gonna have to ask myself. Do I consider this a bad film? If air vents really were that big, could you imagine the type of airflow that building was getting? It's pretty impressive. Or it's expensive, I don't know. I don't know how you pay for AC. Is it by cubic units of air? I have had spam up the ass today. It's not fun. There's been so much spam. That genuinely got me for a moment. Was there really no point to that last scene? My gosh. Okay, we've officially gotten to the extent that I cannot stand their CGI and special effects. It's with this character specifically. Like, it's, for a lot of reasons, it's really dumb that they would even consider this animatronics, because it is quite literally a regular person, a human person, with some sort of mask on. Like, her head's not even CGI, I don't think. Or at least to some extent. It's probably a mixture of both. But, like, how am I supposed to suspend disbelief and be like, oh, that is just some really realistic human animatronics for a off-brand Chuck E. Cheese? Voice of reason. This is all so dumb. Does Nicolas Cage's character even have, like, a name? Ah, that explains the animatronic goop. See? I can't stand that animatronic. It's a $5 million budget couldn't think of some other character that isn't an off-brand Tinkerbell. All of this that's happening right now on this rooftop is pointless. I'll explain why it's pointless at the end. Gosh, this I can't. I can't with this whole entire group. Yep, not surprised. Why were they on the roof in the first place? Should have just let her do it. Another plot hole. That is a funny line. Dark comedy. I'm so serious. We have exactly 49 minutes 40 seconds. Ah, drop my pen. Dang, that cake looks good. I would love a piece of birthday cake right now. That sucks for that birthday cake. I guarantee that that's probably just frosting and cardboard anyway. Why would they get a real birthday cake just to like splatter fake blood on it? Oh, it's blue Kool-Aid this time. gosh. Aren't all of you guys a product? Those are your parents you're talking about. My gosh. Aren't they supposed to? Well, I guess it's nighttime. They don't have to be in school. Yeah, we're all caught up to date because of that riveting story from a few moments ago. She reminds me of that one chick from Ratchet. The chick that works at the front desk. I can't think of her name right now. I'm pretty sure he has. Someone died. Oh. I want one of those. Obviously, it's a cola. Like, it just looks like it's Diet Pepsi wrapped in a little label. Soda sounds so good. I don't really drink soda anymore. I drink, like, sparkling water. This is why we need to watch Cabin in the Woods. Oh, snap, there's the alligator. I don't think I noticed that last time. Really? Okay. Oversight by me. But if someone says that, that means you're being followed. Yeah, he's been in every room we've been in. Yeah, he's watching. Okay, so there's dead people. There's moving, living animatronics. And you're like, let's not care about being in the same room as one. I like the song that's playing. Snap. And how does a styrofoam sword do so much damage? Come on, Nick. When's your break gonna be over? I realize now all of this is happening during his break. I can't stand her. Not gonna lie, I can't stand that lady either. Yep. Just a string of prank calls. Hmm. You say put your balls on? That's an interesting scene. All of that is pointless, though. Gosh, you gotta give someone one of those flashing light warnings for this movie. Because of that strobe effect. He's off his break! Yeah! There you go, Nick. He's making up for lost time. You know that moment when you come back from, like, one of your 15-minute breaks and you feel like you could just tackle anything again? Like, that's what he's feeling right now. Ew. That's gotta taste like motor oil. I will say the music was pretty good. The soundtrack was really good for this movie. Like, it was really impressive. He's been moving. Dude, you're punching an animatronic. It's not. Case in point, this is also why it's never good to separate from your group in a horror film. Just don't. Everyone should stick together. Especially, like, they start off with, like, what? 6 to 7 people, I think. Because there were 5, 6. Yeah, there's like 7 people. And they each just pretty much say, well, I'm gonna go off on my own, essentially. Granted, some people were just dying in the main room, so. Get 'em. And they may be animatronic, like, robots or whatever, but you have to think, like, the people that are, like, possessing these animatronics, they probably are not good fighters. Especially because they've been animatronics for so long. This gives me real Crank and Crank 2 vibes, too. Like, that is how shaky some of these camera angles are. It's. But instead of Jason Statham, it's Nicolas Cage. I guess that's the action aspect of it. Yeah. You saw your friends die? Well, she didn't see them die, but she saw a bunch of death. Also, why isn't the pinball machine in there? Also, I didn't know that the chameleon was even in this till this part. Like, the first time I watched this, I was like, oh, are they barely introducing a whole new puppet to the mix or something? That's what it felt like to me. We're at 35:10 exactly. That is how much we have left. But yeah. I don't. The I guess the chameleon was being really true to a chameleon, and she was just blending in, wasn't she? I will say her part is very believable. I like how he was considering that for a moment. I feel like I've seen her in other films. Oh, now we're getting the real story. But they let that chick and those kids get close enough to just start pouring gasoline on it. They got him the day before demolition. I've never even heard of that. Or burn it to the ground. Maybe demolition wasn't the best idea. Maybe you just had to sporadically, unconsciously burn the whole building and everything inside. Don't try and salvage one thing, just burn it all to the ground. And you're all gonna be dead by morning. That's very Five Nights at Freddy. Zingers actually sound really good right now. Ready up. No! Ah. And I like how they all take the time. They look at him. They're like, what's the beeping? It's like, I gotta go take my break. Union rules. Let me get my break in. Play some pinball. You finished this punch. Break is over. Jeez, that would have to be a very slow fight in order for him to have finished his break like that. She would have still have been able to use her tongue, but okay, let's overlook that. This does make me want to see a film that happens in, like, I guess, real time consistently. Because that definitely did not just happen in real time. Ew, her tongue looks like salmon with the skin still on. Oh no, my notes fell. Now he's confused. Which he should be, kinda. I would be like... It's weird, though, that, like, the people that are in on it, like that lady, it's weird that if someone was actually, like, successfully doing this, if they wouldn't let them continue. He was making progress. How are you gonna stop him from making progress? He's looking at him like, as if I never had to get out of handcuffs before. Come on now. I'm Nicolas Cage. Dude, he will be fine. She's the one that had like a 75% chance of successfully killing any of them. He has a 100% chance. There's no reason to keep aiming the shotgun at him as you leave. It's pointless. She did, in a way, kill her parents, so she's not wrong. Also, to some extent, the animatronics just seem like, see, that is a human. Just saying. But the, gosh, they just seem like people in outfits, like costumes, or just that, whatever that off-brand Tinkerbell is. I call that a reverse Fonz. It's not an elbow, it's a kick. Are all places he's about to kick them in. Let us remember he does have a grip of whatchamacallit, duct tape on right now. That was a weird scene right there. That shaking with his head shaking. In a way, he's already a murderer, so. Kinda, sorta. Accessory, if anything. Exactly. True, she is kind of the. Not necessarily leader. I would say the Tex guy is. But she definitely has something to do with it. Yep. He's like, it was working for a while. How'd he do that? Nice. Using the the other end of the shotgun. You're an animatronic, dude. How could any of that actually hurt them if they are animatronics? Like, wouldn't they need nerves to feel pain? I guess that would be getting into the logistics of being an animatronic being. How do you feel like pain? It's already out. Did we see him get out of the gloves, the cuffs, or what? Another shirt. I realize now, why is he taking the point of cleaning their pictures if he's going to kill them all? You're not gonna have any animatronics to base your whole place off of. At least the place is gonna look nice. And he's ready for a boss fight. We're at 1940. And I'll probably do one more call out after that. I like how this boss fight is basis on he's the leader, but who knows if he's even the best fighter. I would like to see a movie where like there are fight sequences kind of like Enter the Dragon style, but you can actually see the fighting get better with every person they're fighting. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? That was the one questionable thing Nick Cage was allowed to do. He was only allotted one questionable thing. The song is dope though. Oh my gosh, she does it again. Okay, so apparently there's two. Also, I guess the real question is how many characters do they have versus Five Nights at Freddy's? That is not something I know. Oh, this is like the theme song. I would have used this whole sequence unedited, but with the music, and make that the trailer for this. People would not know what they were in for. You would have to be able to tell by context clues, like the duct tape on his face. That was cringe. He should get Employee of the Month for his work ethic. Yeah, she's watching you. Oh, he waves. No, why do you keep stopping him? Yeah. No, it's because of you. Quit trying to blame Nicolas Cage. Or you can look at his resume. He has 6 dead. Oh wow. Wow. Oh, that was poor CGI, but also that's shocking. What did they do with the $5 million? Like, I, I have a feeling it was put to the effects, but not where it probably should have went. Like that last scene looks like it could have been done a little bit better. This is a little disorienting. I guess that's the point though. Ooh. Get the duct tape. More duct tape. Yeah. Normal bandages are not gonna do jack for that. Maybe seal some of your wounds with super glue. Gosh. He wasn't ready. This is a legit part. That's a cool camera scene. Okay. That was a cool angle. That was nice. Kudos to them. He's preparing. We're at 14 minutes even. That's the last time call. It's boss fight time. Gosh, this is kind of like a showdown in a western, except instead of white doves flying, they just got a bunch of confetti. Oh my gosh, he is just wailing on him with that bag. Are those his sodas in that bag? Oh, that's wild. That is a wild ending. And then it turns into a Camaro ad again. That is a nice car. He should be, like, chopping these up. Oh, my headset's falling. Yeah, that would be my response too. I know. It looks nice. I can't help but feel this ending part is a little over dramatic. Tiny bit. But also in home dude's face, him, Tex. And if you look really closely, you could tell that that is a very fake mustache. Okay, you actually don't have to look that close. That's what a real mustache looks like. I do like this song that's playing. This is why I was saying, like, it has a good soundtrack too. All of the music is like it brings, like, I guess the production value of this whole film up, definitely. Yeah. Of course he would be upset about that. He's been chewing on a piece of beef jerky this whole time. I I think that's a piece of beef jerky. Why is he chewing on a piece of beef jerky? I can't get that out of my head now. I wonder how much of that was just ad lib. Oh, she went flying. It's wild. I don't think that was a real explosion, but it looked real. Why would he be able to see the explosion in his eyes? That would Okay, that part did not make sense. Those are mirror frames though. Punch. He's like, I've never had to share my punch. Oh snap! They do a close up on the dog tags at the beginning. I wonder if you can see his name. Oh snap! I like that zoom in. That's very Jeepers Creepers of them. Except they didn't double back to reverse over him a few times. Okay, well. GG's. That was it. That was Willy's Wonderland. Some things I wrote down. uh, I'll go from top to bottom. So like from as I was writing throughout, the quick resolutions and how I was considering them to be plot holes. Yeah, there's a lot of them, and that's why I started to say totally consider those to be plot holes, because it's like you're giving a movie too many ways out. You can't do that a lot. You have to oh, this was filmed in Georgia. But you have to give them, I don't know, some rigidity, some structure. You can't keep doing the false hope thing. Like, I don't know, it's like just dangling a resolve in front of someone. Also, I feel like there's a lot of satire, or just in general, there's that type of humor. I think as a viewer, you have to look at it with that lens, but also in the same retrospect, there's also just the idea that this should be considered like maybe a satirical dark comedy. I don't know. That's thinking about it too much, but there are a lot of components of what dark comedy, like, I guess, would be considered by today's standards in here. And so there's that. I did say it's a very expensive satire, but that's only like if you consider this to be like kind of like a satirization of Five Nights at Freddy's specifically, I guess. Like I said, there are no morals or lessons. This is quite literally just something to just throw on and watch. And I think that makes it pretty cool. You don't have to like come out of it being like, yeah, that was okay. I guess you can't consider it to be like a discussion worthy film, which is kind of like saying it's a diss, but sometimes you just want to throw something on just because it's a little fun to watch, you know? So I think that's a little bit more like how it is. Like, there are some serious movies that are like for discussion. This is a film that you come out of it and you say either you liked it or you didn't, you know? The pinball is cool. I don't know why I wrote down pinball in my notes, but I like that little aspect. I think I don't know. It serves its purpose, I guess, if there is even a purpose. I was gonna Google to see how much a Willy's t-shirt cost. That is just a mental note to me that maybe I would like one. I did admit that I do like bad films. The question is, though, would I consider this a bad film? I don't know. It's in some sort of gray area. There's a lot of things I can't stand about this film, but there's also things that would make it too good for me to consider it like, like a bad film. So, it's a film. It's a movie. It's in neither camp. Oh yeah, I have to see if his character has a name. I didn't even look in the credits. I guess since it's over, I could go back and look. Let's see who his character is. Just letting it play through again. Let's see, cast. Oh, he is only known as the janitor. Okay, so if that's the case, let me go back to the beginning. Try and see those dog tags at the very beginning. It's doing exterior shots. Let's see the inside of this car. Nicolas Cage. I passed the dog tags. There they are. Ah, it's too dark to see. But you do get some idea that he was in the military from that. Okay. And then what else do I have? Everyone in the cringe group dies except for the girl. Okay, so yeah, I wrote it like that. But, the thing is, so when the only reason they're having that whole entire argument on the roof is to propel the plot. Other than that, it is completely pointless for them to give such depth to characters that are gonna end up dying. Like, the character development that happens on that roof is very impressive for how quickly people start dying afterwards. But it's just like, it seems like because it happened so fast that they try to develop these characters, it just becomes like, well, was that an attempt to get us attached to these characters, even though there was, like, I feel like Walking Dead, at least back in the day, I haven't seen Walking Dead for like 3 or 4 seasons now, but, at least back in the day, Walking Dead had a uncanny ability to get you attached to a character, and then boom, out of nowhere the character dies. I feel like what they were trying to do, and quite literally, between 1 to 2, maybe even 3 scenes, was get us acquainted with way too many characters, and then kill them. It was so pointless. What is the point of listening to how that dude that looks like Jordan Peele grow weed if he's just gonna die? Well, what is up with that character development? Anyway, or the two dudes arguing, like, whatever. I think every horror film, if you have like two competing like people like in a group, you're gonna have that argument anyway. And at least in like horror films, because they always want to do something different. I don't know. I guess for them it was, we should wait outside or try and help him from the roof. And then the other guy was like, nah, I'm going in. You know? So. But yeah, what else do I have on here? Why wasn't this classified as a dark comedy? Yeah, I feel like I've touched on that a little bit, but it does seem more like a dark comedy than anything else. It's like, I don't know. I guess you can't, I guess dark comedy does have horror aspects too. I guess it's like a, would you consider dark comedy to be a subgenre? I'm gonna Google that. I feel like that's an interesting question. Do you I know, I'm just gonna have to say it while I type it. Consider dark comedy a subgenre. Because that's really interesting. Is it a subgenre of comedy? Well, I guess I'm thinking from a movie point of view. Yeah, it usually includes farce and satire, and I was talking about the satirical aspects of this movie. Oh, but okay, I get it now. But it would basically have to be... It would have to be... I like the examples they're giving. Dr. Strangelove, definitely. It would have to be more comedic than... just simply based in a horror film, I guess is what it's saying. So you can't it has a lot of satire, but cannot be considered like a dark comedy. I get it. There is more like action and I guess just general horror aspect to it. So there's that. I was getting House of Wax vibes the whole time all the cringe people were dying. And that, I guess that's just to say, like, House of Wax quite literally does, like, the same thing, like, you know what, I'm gonna have to make a note. If I can find it, I'm totally gonna do House of Wax, because that used to be my favorite movie back in the day. So, I'm gonna have to find House of Wax. Definitely. That'll be legit. That's one of those ones I would love to cover. But yeah, I guess the later House of Wax. I don't know if there are older ones of that. I think so, though. What else do I have on here? The chameleon is very believable. Dude, okay, so I said the chameleon is very believable at first, and that's because, like, when she's, like, convincing that kid that she's fine and she's, like, not one of the bad ones, and he believes it. The only reason she is convincible is because quite literally up till that point, this is my second time watching this film, quite literally up to that point, had not seen her. We look at all of the animatronics how many times, could not tell you that there was a chameleon until that point. And I even said, I think that unironically or ironically speaks to the fact that she's a chameleon, she must have been blending in. I still think they just added her in like halfway through the mix. I don't know. But I think also when it got to the point of the chameleon, I was just thinking, this is way too many animatronics. Also, there's way too many of those cringe kids, and then there's way too many animatronics. Like, there's a lot of unnecessary characters in this whole movie. It just seems that way. The action scenes are very Crank inspired, I feel, definitely. Like, if you've ever seen any of, like, the fighting or killing sequences in Crank with Jason Statham, it totally seems like that. I just scared myself with my own microphone cable. Jeez, that was weird. Okay, but yeah, it's a lot of just jarring, shaking, and, like, usually loud blaring music, too. It disturbs all senses, essentially. But that's not to say that the action sequences weren't bad. They were really good. I did like them. I said very gory without the gore, but I feel like that goes with a side note of it is gory every time someone dies in general, but the goriness without the gore just is, I guess that's more about the animatronics. Like, it's like, geez, the whole time I'm looking at, like, all of the oil going everywhere and everything, I'm just like, this would be very disturbing if this was people. Like, or if you're just imagining that to be, like, blood, it would be way more disturbing than the fact that he's dismantling possessed animatronics. So I was like, that's why I said that. Yeah, I said it a little bit more written out, though, but that, I will say on that note, too, special effects wise, I did not write a lot of notes about the special effects, but they just keep shifting back and forth between being not really good, but moderately okay with, to just bad. Like, at the very end, when the sheriff, when she gets ripped in half, and it goes from CGI to, like, I guess, like, physical special effect, like, stand-in thing, I guess, with the blood squirting out and everything, like, you can tell, like, it's just bad. Like, and they leave it on the screen, like, the first half, like, when it's actually Willy ripping her in half, like, and they leave, like, that horrible CGI job on the screen. It bugs me. It bugs me because if you're gonna use special effects, you have to use them to your best ability, because if the special effects don't look good and it's not being done, like, at this point in an ironic way, you can't suspend disbelief. It's not gonna happen. Or at least I'll lose my suspension of disbelief. Other people, it might still hold up. But at that point, I can't submerge myself in the film. Unless, like I said, unless it's like a film where it's supposed to be like that. You know, where you're just supposed to be like, that's silly and ironic how that looks horrible. But it's not like that. If you're gonna try hard at special effects and CGI in your films, you really have to do it. You know, people have as an example, this is such an unfair example. People don't have to even attempt to try and submerge themselves in a movie like Inception. But so much money probably went into Inception for you to really just like have suspension of belief, which, gosh, I feel like that could be a discussion on its own. I'm starting to realize, especially with movies, like the idea of suspension of disbelief, because you quite literally have a movie without it. Someone has to be able to believe the story that's going on, as mythical as it can be sometimes. You have to believe it. You have to keep the person immersed in believing it in order for it to be a good story, especially with horror films. So that's something I guess I've walked away with this. I could be saying it wrong. Let me search this up real quick. Suspension of disbelief in film. The willing suspension of disbelief means the people in the audience know what they are seeing on stage or screen is a pretend reality. So wait, do I need this suspension of belief? Oh, my bad, no. They accept the given premises of the story being told in order to empathize with the character. Yeah, so that's basically it. But it allows you to be immersed more in the film, I think. Like, you're believing it's going on for the film's purpose, but it's not like you believe this in real life, obviously. It's a film. You know you're watching a film. But yeah, that's interesting. I walked away with something from this, even though I said I wasn't going to. So the overall question was, is it a good movie? I have no idea. Would I watch it again? Yeah, every once in a while I feel like this is a good movie. Like, if you're gonna have like pizza one night and you don't want to think too hard about what you're gonna watch, you could just throw it on if you know what you're looking for. Something a little gory, fun though. You can laugh at the characters. If you're looking for something like that, then yeah, totally. It's not that serious of a film. You know? So it's fun. I can't say it's a good film. But I can't say it's a bad film. I think it's a cool film for Nicolas Cage. Is it best Nicolas Cage? No, I think it's dope that he got to collect the bag without saying a word. That's wild to me. So yeah, totally impressive. Am I saying it's a good film though? No, but it's totally not Nicolas Cage's fault. But okay, that is quite literally all of my notes. I bet you're surprised that I've made it this far and I didn't talk a bunch about budget versus box office. Partially because for how, like, I see where the money went in this film. I wonder why they maybe didn't even make a little bit more. But I don't know. It's not as over-exaggerated and as shocking as with Blair Witch. Because Blair Witch seems like they were cheap movies and then, like, you know, Blair Witch 2 just had it seems like Blair Witch 2 was almost used for money laundering. with like how it's that difference of budget and box office, because it was not coming out in the quality of the film at all. It's like, where'd the money go? But yeah, all jokes aside, it was a fairly okay film. I'm not saying it's good. But yeah, that was totally not a film commentary of Willy's Wonderland. And I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I don't know what film is next, so I guess we'll just see as we're going along. I think I said it might be My Bloody Valentine, because that's back on Hulu. So we'll just have to see. Ironically, this film came out almost not same day exactly, but like same day, different years obviously, as My Bloody Valentine. My Bloody Valentine came out February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. This film dropped February 12th. Obviously, My Bloody Valentine was in 1981 and this is 2021. So that's a difference in math that I'm pretty sure is very easy to do, but I'm not going to do it because I suck at math. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, maybe that'll be the next one. Thank you if you made it this far and you actually listened to this film commentary. And I guess I'll just see you guys in the next one. Peace.